guys, Silver here, and today we will be doing a audiobook recommended by one of my amazing subscribers, Kat. What is Naruto and One Piece were in the same world? Now let's hop right into it. Like always, I do not own Naruto or One Piece. Crimson Skies and Hollow Tears. Prologue. Naruto laid on his back panting as he looked up at the black sky above him. A single tear rolled down his cheek as three bodies laid on the ground around him. One being his former teammate and friend Sasuke Uchiha, and the other two his triplet brother and sister. He had taken their lives in the Valley of the End, for they placed all their hate onto the wrong people and wouldn't take account for their own actions and wanted to further place their hatred and blame on Naruto and the village that had ignored their brother growing up and worshipped the ground they walked on, while Naruto was treated like an outsider in his own home and village. His siblings had been respected and seen as heroes their late father had wished for. Even their mother had turned her back on Naruto, focusing all her time and energy on the two she believed would be the ones to carry their clan's names into glory. Naruto chuckled dryly. Boy, was she wrong. He spoke out loud as he slowly began to push himself off the ground. Take it slowly, Kit. Your new arm is slowly forming and will take about another hour or so, but this arm will appear to look like mine. I'm sorry I couldn't give you another human arm, said Kurama within the now open seal inside Naruto. Don't sweat it, Kurama. I know you're going through a lot as well, with getting your yin and yang back and making yourself whole once more, said Naruto as he looked down at his new arm. I might have to bandage it, so no one freaks out, he said as an afterthought. It will be for the best. Those monkeys will only freak out even more once they see it, said Kurama as he was still unsure about allowing the boy to return to the village full of fools. I know, said Naruto as he sat up for a while quietly. No one was coming and it was giving him the time he needed to think. Hey Kurama. He began to speak. Yeah, Kit. What's on your mind? Questioned Kurama as he knew something had been waiting on the boy's mind for a while. Even before this, two siblings had ran off with the stupid Uchiha. I want to leave. I want to leave this island and see the world. Screw being Hokage to these people. I want to find a new dream and have some fun. I'm only 16 and I have done so much, and it has always been for the others. To save my brother and sister. To save Sasuke. But now, I want to live my own life, said Naruto as he slowly stood up and dropped his forward protector to the ground. This is the end. I will never return to this place. Mom can have another kid and try to rebuild the clan. But I'm done. I'm no longer going to be her or the others' puppet for when the two golden children are no longer around, he said as he slowly jumped onto the river and began walking. He knew it fed into the East Blue and maybe with Kurama's help, he can walk to a nearby island and go from there. Several hours later in the Valley of the End, Kushina, Kakashi, and Tsunade come running to where they had felt the powerful chakra. They have to be alright, cried Kushina as she was worried for her children. I don't give a damn about those other brats. I only hope Naruto is alright, growled out Tsunade as tears threatened to roll down her cheeks. Kakashi kept quiet as he could not feel any more chakra coming from there. His fears was they all had died in the battle. As the three landed before the once beautiful valley with the former statues of the village leader and head of the Uchiha clan, there was only 3 bodies and an arm with a forward protector laying on it. Kushina ran to her 2 children crying as she looked to the arm as the pug sniffed it and looked back at the silver hair man. It belongs to Naruto, said Pakun as the small pug let out a growl. I don't smell anything else as he looks to the river. No, cried Tsunade as her hands moved to cover her mouth. I've lost him as well, she whispered with tears rolling down her cheeks as she took the forward protector that was left on the arm. Going merry, Luffy sits on the figurehead of his ship looking out to sea as Zoro sat right under him watching over his captain like a hawk. Zoro, I see someone standing in the middle of the sea, said Luffy as he turned his head to look down at his first mate. Zoro opened an eye and looked up at Luffy. What are you talking about? He questioned as he yawned, slowly standing up to look at where his captain was looking. His eyes widened as a man with blonde hair stood before them just a few hundred feet away from them. From the crow's nest. There is a man on the water, yelled Usopp as Nami and Sanji both came out of the lounge to see what was happening. Let's help him, said Luffy as they sailed closer. The blonde looked up at the ship with the strange goat's head with a raven hair boy sitting on it. Hey, take the rope ladder, called a man with green hair as a man with blonde hair stood next to him. Without even thinking about it, Naruto jumped onto the ship from where he stood. I guess I got lucky, for I'm so trier. He thought to himself as he blinked his eyes and smiled at the crew that saved him from passing out in the middle of the East Blue. But before he could say anything his eyes rolled into the back of his head and he fell forward where Luffy caught the teenage boy in his arms. Looks like he hasn't had any sleep in a few days, nor does it look like he has eaten, said Luffy to his crew. Sanji, make him something to eat for when he wakes up. Zoro, help me carry him inside, and Nami, get him a bed made. He gave out orders to his crew. Inside of Naruto's mindscape, Naruto appears before Kurama. I am grateful for them saving me, he told his best friend and brother. They are different and the one that caught you is something special. He is strong, said Kurama as he used his tails to pull his kit to him to rest. Yeah, I got that feeling as well, Naruto agreed as passed out. With Luffy, I wonder if he will be willing to join my crew. I can tell he is pretty strong, said Luffy as he looks at Zoro, who hasn't left his side since the newcomer had been brought on board. Who knows? But you're not wrong. He is pretty strong, said Zoro as he studies the teenage boy who sleeps in the bed that normally Nami sleeps in. Sanji comes walking into the room with a tray with a bowl of broth and some water for the boy to drink once he awoke. I think this will be best for him now, for I don't know how long he hasn't eaten and anything heavy might make him sick, he said as he placed the tray down next to Naruto's head as he had been sleeping now for about a day. Luffy nodded his head. Yeah, I think you're right, he said as he poked the boy's cheek as he now noticed the whiskers on the blonde's face. Hey, he has whiskers on his face. Naruto slowly began waking up as Luffy was feeling his cheek. You know it's rude to feel someone's face without asking, he told the captain of the ship. Well, I was cleaning off your face with this wet cloth and I noticed you have whiskers, said Luffy as he grins at the blonde. Naruto lets out a sigh and slowly pushes himself up, now sitting. I see, he said, looking around as he sees the same blonde and green hair men from earlier looking at him. Hello, he tells them. There is a broth and water for you, for I don't know how long your last meal was, said the blonde as he lit a cigarette. Naruto nodded his head to this. Thanks. It's been about 2 weeks since I have eaten, and solider pills are starting to make me sick, he told the blonde as the one with raven hair places the tray on his lap. What are solider pills? Asked the raven hair teen. Naruto looks at him. They are pills that keep you full and keep you from eating for a while. But a normal person can only use those pills for a couple days. But I'm not normal, he said as he saw the bandages came off of his arm. That sucks, said Luffy, making a face. Hey, give me one of those pills so I can feed it to him, said the Sanji as his eyes lit up with hope. Naruto chuckled. Maybe later. I still need to see if I have any and if I am going to need them, for I have no idea who you are and where we are, he told them. Luffy grins. You're on our ship, the Going Merry. We're pirates. I'm Monkey D. Luffy and I'm the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. These two are part of my crew, he said, pointing to the two men. I am Roronoa Zoro, first mate and swordsman of the crew, said Zoro. I am Sanji, the chief of the Straw Hat Pirates, said Sanji. You're pirates? Question. Naruto with shock. Yeah, I wanted to be free and the freest man was the former pirate king. So I am going to be the king of all pirates, said Luffy with a grin. We go on adventures and help people along the way if the need arises and if are able to, he said with the same grin. Oh, well, I am Uzumaki Naruto, former shinobi of the Hidden Leaf. I quit after I won our freaking war and how I left. Everyone thinks I'm dead, said Naruto as he finished his meal. Cool. Join my crew, said Luffy with stars in his eyes. Naruto blinks. Are you sure? He asked Luffy. Yeah, I think it's cool. You're a ninja and it will be fun, and you'll be free as part of my crew, said Luffy. Luffy, yelled a female voice from the doorway. Everyone turned to look at the girl standing at the door. Yeah, Nami. What's wrong? Questioned Luffy, looking at the girl with red hair. Look at this, said Nami, now holding a bounty poster in her hands. It was a close-up photo of Luffy waving at the camera, smiling his famous D smile. Well shit. He now has a bounty of 60 million berries for kicking Arlong's ass, said Zoro, laughing. Oh wow, said Luffy as his arm stretched over to Nami and took the poster from her. Naruto's eyes widen. You have a bloodline? He questioned with shock in his voice. Everyone look at him. No, I ate a devil fruit and I'm now a rubber man, said Luffy, pulling his cheek as if it wasn't nothing special. Kid in the world outside of the elemental islands. There are fruits known as devil fruits that are like bloodlines. But unlike bloodlines, those who eat these fruit lose the ability to swim, said Kurama. As Naruto just nods his head dumbly. So Luffy was the only one to get a bounty? Questioned Sanji as he wasn't too pleased with this outcome. Well, he did punch that rat bastard. So he must have put a bounty on Luffy to cover his ass, said Zoro with a smirk on his face looking over at Sanji. I know we should have stumped that bastard to dust, growled Nami as she wasn't happy that rat got away. Don't worry about him. I'm sure my grandpa will get him, said Luffy waving them off and looking at Naruto. So what do you say? Do you want to join my crew? He asks once more. Naruto looks at everyone and back at Luffy. Sure, why not? He told the Hyper Boy. Yay, I now have a ninja on the crew, yelled Luffy with excitement. Naruto chuckles at him. You remind me of me, he said, still laughing. As long as you're not a bottomless pit we'll be fine, said Sanji as he looks at Naruto, who looks away from him just humming. Damn it, he yelled. Hey, don't worry. I can live off of ramen. I have most of my life, said Naruto looking at the crying cook. Sanji looked at him with horror written across his face. What kind of monster only fed you ramen? He asked, not sure if he wanted to know. My mom, said Naruto, not sure what was wrong with that. But she did cook better meals for his siblings though. She is a monster and I will make sure you eat better. Even if I do make you ramen, it will be good for you, said Sanji with flames in his eyes. Hey, I see a land, came a voice from outside. That must be Lobe Town, said Nami. We will resupply here and head for the Grand Line, she told everyone. They all nodded their heads to this. This is how Naruto became a Straw Hat. I hope you like, for I think it sucks a little.